Hey, what's up, guys? This patch is fucking insane. We're gonna go over it. Everything that is, that has, that can be. It's gonna be a long one, but it's crazy. And just stick with me, and we'll get through this because there's some stuff we should talk about.
This is America.
All right, starting out with the Marksman Mythics, we have Gale Force, Kraken Slayer, and Immortal Shieldbow, which are the ones we saw in the preview before when they first dropped it. We'll go over it again. Gale Force drops 55 attack damage, 20% attack speed, and 20% critical chance. And it gives you a dash, firing 3 missiles to the lowest health enemy near your destination. Prioritizing champions. Deals a total of 105 to 300 from level 118. Plus 30% bonus attack damage. Magic damage. Increased against low health targets up to 50% against targets at 30% health. And grants other items 3%. This is really cool. Because it gives ADs that have low mobility, like Jinx and stuff, that have no get outs and stuff, an extra dash. I believe that it said before that you weren't able to dash over walls, but I don't see that here. So maybe you can actually dash over walls now, which is great for ADs getting away from these bruisers. Mostly is my fear, that are just on top of you. Now, Kraken Slayer is basically a Vayne passive built into an item. It does extra damage every third attack, all right? Which stacks on top of this 80 plus 30% of your attack damage. Jeez, that was hard to say. And it gives you 10% attack speed on all your other legendary items. You can stack your inventory with a ton of legendary items. On top of this, man, you're going to be third procking on this Vayne passive all the time. This applies to champs that don't normally have this third auto attack, which is crazy because now people like Jinx, I said Jinx twice, but Jinx again, and Kalista and stuff like that have a third auto attack proc that does bonus true damage, which is great. I think we needed some more anti-tank stuff. We needed more reasons to pull those Garens and those like Swains and stuff off of our AD carries, and I think this is it. Immortal Shieldbow. Basically survivability against assassins and stuff like that. 50% attack damage, 50% attack speed, 20% critical chance. I said 50 attack damage, 12% life steal. Taking damage that reduce you below 30% health. Gain 150 shield for 3 seconds. In addition, gain 20% life steal. Also, it grants all your other legendary items armor and magic resists. This item is really cool. Items like this scare me. I don't know how they're going to do it if they limit to people who are bot lane champions and put stuff like this on. But I imagine people like Garen throwing something like this on. Or some other kind of bursty champion. And then just getting the additional armor and magic resist. And also getting the crits and the lifesteal and the damage. And the ability just to trade back and forth. I don't think it's a super problem because the marksman will also have it. But I imagine that we'll see a lot of bruisers throwing on some of these items that are meant for the 80s. Right, next up is the tank mythics. We have Sunfire Aegis, which is replacing the Sunfire Cape. Excuse me. 450 health, 30 armor, 30 magic resist, and ability haste. Ability haste is replacing CD, guys, just so you know. It deals the 20 to 40, the immolate damage nearby enemies, but it stacks instead. So with this effect, it stacks up to 12% for 5 seconds, 6 times. So you can have 6 stacks of this chilling on top of somebody, and it just goes up multiplicatively. And so doing like a quick simple math for this, the 20, you stack this up to 12% 5 seconds. That's 60% extra damage. You get about 32 damage per second at the max stack for immolate. Which at the beginning levels can feel kind of nice, and that's a 50% also increase on top of minions and monsters. So beginning that extra damage on top of that, which is cool. Keep in mind that 32. This is the 32 I'm taking at max stack. You're standing around something. You get it at radiance, which means at max stack your basic attack also explodes around you, dealing an additional immolate damage for 3 seconds. So you get an additional burn on top of that. This item also grants 5% ability haste. Frostfire Gauntlets are replacing the Iceborne Gauntlets with like a tankier version of it. It grants health, armor, magic resist, ability haste. Deals 20 to 40 bonus damage to nearby enemies, so it does this same immolate kind of thing. Frostfire attacks create a frost field that slows, so it has a 4-second cooldown on what used to be a Sheen proc, that's just a general auto attack now that scales with your bonus health. It's a mythic passive, grants all of legendaries 100 health and 7.5 size. They have a built-in item that grants size on top of it as well. I wonder if we see somebody like the Gnostises or somebody like that running an item like this, so they can just get the extra additional, you know, reach and stuff. Berserker suit, 350 health, 30 armor, 50 magic resist, 15 ability haste. Oh, this is kind of like a Predator built-in passive, which is cool. You get 75 move speed when moving towards turrets or enemy champions. Once near them, it emits a shockwave that slows by 75% for 2 seconds. It also has the basic emulate on it, which is the 20 to 40, and it grants all other legendary items 5 tenacity and slow resist. So it's like running in there with a double predators. I can see like a Nunu predatoring and then activating the Berserker suit on top of it, and just snowballing in there massively fast and just dropping a huge slow on the enemy team. Yeah. All right. 80 Assassin Mythics. Let's get into it. First off is a Duskblade Druktha. Plus 55 attack damage, 18 lethality, 25 ability haste. Which is actually a pretty significant amount of ability haste. Damaging champions deals 50 to 150 plus 30% bonus attack damage and slows them by 99% for 0.25 seconds. When a champion you've damaged recently within 3 seconds is killed, reset this cooldown and gain invisibility for 1.5 seconds. Anyone you damage within the last 3 seconds that dies gives you 1.5 seconds of invisibility. And it resets the cooldown on this 99% slow. That means anyone with like an AoE, like a Zed or something like that, can run and dash and just destroy an entire team worth of people and get resets and invisibility on top of it, which is a very, very interesting mechanic built into this blade. Eclipse, which is a dueling item, 55 attack damage, 18 lethality on an item that has 10% Omnivamp as well. Hitting champions with 2 separate abilities or attacks within 1.5 seconds deals a bonus physical damage equal to 16% of the person they're attacking's maximum health and grants you 30% movement speed and 150 plus 80% bonus attack damage shield. And then that shield's reduced for ranged champions for 2 seconds. Which I imagine if you are running in there, getting 2 of her little quick autos off, you get a massive shield and movement speed that she can kite around with and proc all of her vitals, and also dealing % max health on top of that while Omnivamp is healing her, and she's got this lethality burst for the squishies. Eclipse is a great item, and it's a very scary item for those quick dually tradey champions. Specifically, this is like Fiora's item. Like, this is just straight up her Fiora's dream. Prowler's Claws, 65 attack damage, 21 lethality. That's a crap ton of lethality. Plus 10 ability haste. Dash your enemy target, dealing 100 to 200 plus 45% bonus attack damage as physical, and reduce their armor by 30% for 3 seconds. So you dash through somebody that has a little bit of armor on top of them, you deal an instant 100 damage on top of your 21 lethality. This is an anti-squishy. Like, this is a straight up monstrous assassination tool. I don't imagine anyone survives like a full Zed combo with a 21 lethality item on top of it and 65 damage with an additional 100 that's procced on top of it, plus whatever 45% bonus attack damage applies there too. It's a crazy item, man. Boom. And AP Mythics, these are the ones that have the mana. All the mana. This is the Leandra's Anguish, which is replacing the Leandra's Torment that we all know and love. It's something better, though. It has 80 ability power, 600 mana, 25 ability haste. It no longer has health, which makes me think the build path is going to be significantly different. We'll see. It causes your spells to burn for 60 plus 10% plus 4% of your target's maximum health over 4 seconds. It also shreds their magic resist by 5% for 4 seconds. up to 25% means it stacks that MR shred with 25% on top of it, which is pretty cool. Plus 5 ability haste on all your legendary items. Luden's Tempest is like the other Luden's proc item. It does 80 ability power, 600 mana. Has some haste on it. It has pen this time. When you damage someone with an ability, it procs the little Luden's thing, dealing damage to that target and nearby enemies. I think it does the full damage. So it says damaging an enemy with ability deals 100 plus 15% ability power, additional magic damage to your target, and 3 nearby enemies, and grants you 30% movement speed, which is a cool thing on top of it. I think this means that this also just does a straight flat damage on anyone that happens to be near it. I don't know if it does the little proc like sub damage or if it does full damage. It's not specifically stated. Everfrost, 80 ability power, 200 health, 600 mana, and 10 haste. This one's really cool. It's very interesting. It's like an Anivia ult, like a mini Anivia ult. I'm not sure the size, but in a cone it does 100 damage plus 30% ability power, slowing enemies by 65% for 1.5 seconds, which is kind of a long time. Enemies at the center are rooted instead. It's like a full ability that it has the potential to root something on the inside of it, which is really neat. So you would see like an Anivia chance running around with this, dropping this, and just sticking something inside of this like super circle that's going on. It also grants your other legendary items 15 ability power. I mean, you can even see like a Viger drop something like this, have an additional root. That's all he needs. You know, he stuns, roots, has this straight up massive amount of ability power that he's able to stack on with this. It's a very interesting and can be a very strong item. We'll see how it plays. It depends on how the item's like active actually looks and feels. These are our non-mana AP Mythics. They replace Hextech Protobelt and Hextech Gunblade for items they felt were more suitable for the new item changes, I guess. This one has 80 ability power, 250 health, 15 ability haste, and it lets you dash into target, unleashing an arc of rockets that deal 250 to 350 damage. Then you gain 75% movement speed after that, moving towards champions. I imagine like seeing like a Vlad jump in with the belt to do all of his stuff and gets a burst of speed towards him while he's pulling. It also grants your other items plus 5 magic pen, which is a nice little pen on top of that, which can stack pretty nicely. Oxymox Folly, 80 ability power, 15 haste, 150 health, and more Omnivamp, which we're seeing a lot. For each second in combat, deal 3% damage, and it stacks up to 15%. While this effect is max, convert 100% of the bonus damage into true damage. The longer you're in a fight, the more damage you'll deal. And the longer you're in the fight, the more of a chance you'll have to convert all of that damage into true damage. Which is kind of insane if you get like a Swain dropping on top of somebody and doing all of this AoE damage. That's going to be converted into true damage because he has the survivability to just kind of stand there while he's Omnivamp healing on top of that. It's a very interesting item. And I assume we'll see it on champs like Swain and maybe Vlad's and stuff. People who are like, can kind of just like stand around a little bit inside of people. I imagine that we'll see this. It's interesting that they took the mask before Leandra's and turned it into its own like mythic item. Night Harvester, which sounds more like a AD item to me, but plus 80 ability power, 250 health, 15 ability haste. The Reaping. Damaging an enemy champion does 150 to 250 magic damage and grants you 25% move speed for 1.5 seconds. It feels very much that this sounds like what Ari's Q kind of does, just on a hit on any champion who deals abilities. So it's interesting. It's just like a kiting item or a chase item, I guess you could say. I'd be very interested to see Ari proccing her Q on this and just kind of burst sprinting back and forth, you know? Into the AD Fighter Mythics. Trinity Force, of course, back in full and stronger than ever. 33 attack damage, 33% attack speed, 200 health, 15 ability haste. Your attacks grant you 25 movement speed, just like Rage, and 5% base attack damage. Base attack damage for 3. Oh. And 5% base attack damage for 3 seconds. On top of the movement speed. The base attack damage increase stacks up to 6 times. There's a lot of stacking going on with these new items I've been noticing. They're really wanting to reward like staying in fights long times to like these champions who like are in there for a while, I guess. It has a spell blade which does the same 200% base attack damage, physical damage. It's just a normal spell blade on that, and the mythic passive grants all the legendary items 15% attack speed on top of this Trinity Force. So this one more so than other ones actually does promote attack speed for it. Gore Drinker, dueling, 45 attack damage, 400 health, 15 ability haste, and plus 150% base health regeneration. Thirsting Slash, deal 110% total attack damage to enemies in a circle, recover 20% total attack damage health, plus 12% missing health for each champion hit. Very much so, I imagine it's just a Darius Q. You're just spinning around and gaining health. I don't know what the radius is on it and how it's going to look or feel, but I imagine Darius doing a double Q, getting double health back almost. You also gain 1% increased attack damage for every 5% missing health, stacking up to 15% attack damage at 75% missing health. So you attack, damage, spin, go back up again, get extra damage as you go back down again. It's a strong survivability and damage item. This. I think I assume that we just see Darius is running around with Gore Drinker. I feel it like fits this kit pretty well. Stridebreaker slows enemies, 50 attack damage, 20% attack speed, 300 health, 10 ability haste. Dealing physical damage grants you 20 movement speed on hit for 2 seconds. Increased to 60 if it kills the unit. Much like a Jinx passive, except for you don't get this initial burst speed. But if it kills the unit, you get like a little dash out of it you can run around with or run towards somebody with. That is an active that does the lunge that spins you in a circle as well, very similar to the Gore Drinker up ahead. We don't know what the spin looks like, but you get a spin that slows everyone else around that you can just run around and do this stuff with. It also grants 3% move speed. This is like a full-on, like, kind of like chase, attack, like bruiser kind of item that we got going here. Divine Devour, anti-tank, 40 attack damage, 400 health, 25 ability haste. After using an ability, your next attack deals physical damage equal to 6% of your max health. When this Spellblade, the one above, hits a champion, heal for 60% of the damage dealt. Its mythic passive grants all other legendary items plus 100 health with scales with the Spellblade, which is very nice synergy there actually in that item. 400 health is really nice on top of it too. Somebody with a lot of health, you can build just straight up like health, like tank kind of with a Titanic on top of this, and just get a lot of proc damage on just like a Spellblade that's based truly on health. Which will be really interesting to see if there's gonna be more like just like straight up like health, you know, it's just converted into like a bursty health damaging kind of champion. The Enchanter Mythics, Shrelia's has been replaced to Shrelia's Battle Song. 300 health, 25 ability haste, 10% move speed, grants you and nearby allies a 40% decaying moving speed for 4 seconds, and 60 to 100 bonus magic damage on the next 3 attacks or abilities against champions. For 4 seconds, your next 3 attacks or abilities do 60 to 100 bonus magic damage, which is very interesting. Good engage, good kites, item in or out, you know. Proc it, you go in, you proc it to get out. Straight up engage. Locket Iron Solari, 150 health, 25 ability hits, which is nice. 30 MR, 30 armor. Grants nearby allies a 260 to 430 shield, decaying over 2.5 seconds. Grant nearby allies, and they had this aura a while ago. The aura that drops the magic resist and the MR just on top of it, just sitting there. Now, this mythic stacks even higher. So, +2 armor and magic resist increase to Iron Ore. So, the more legendary items you have that are attached to this Locket of the Iron Solari, get a +2 armor and magic resist increase to this. So any ally within this Iron Aura will get like the 7, 9, 11% armor and magic resist. So you can see like a Yumi sitting on top of somebody and just getting like permanent easy stats out of it. The Moonstone Renewer is another item that like is another like Yumi item that I was thinking of. 100 health, 25 ability haste, 100% base mana regeneration. When affecting champions and attacks, your ability to combat heal the most damage nearby ally for 30 to 60. Each second spent in combat with champions increases healing effects by 25% and it stacks to 100. So you can get 100% of this healing effects onto the nearby most damaged champion, which if it's the one you're on as Yumi significantly will increase the healing effects that you got going on top of your 100% base mana regeneration. This is also like nice for like, you know, like oh my god, Sonas or your Shirakas or anything that like that. And then it goes into new legendary items, guys. All right, new legendary items, guys. I'm gonna go through this fast and slow at the same time, if that makes sense. The ones that I really want to focus on, we'll talk about. I'll do a more in-depth video after this. I just want to kind of get through these to show you guys them. The Collector, just 45 attack damage, 20% critical strike, and 18% lethality. We're seeing a lot of mix of lethality and crit, which is a new thing, and it's very interesting on these like really high damage items. If you deal damage that would leave an enemy below 5%, kill them. If you deal damage that would leave an enemy below 5%, they die. They die. You know how many times you flashed out with like 20 health? You can't do that anymore because you'll die. Grants you an additional 25 gold for each kill. Wow. This item is insane. It literally takes away 5% of their health. Just automatically. Anyone who you see is 5% lower in health. Which means people can't just get away, which actually feels good for me, because you know how many people just flash away with 20 health and somehow just walk out of there all happy? This honestly kind of negates the Triumph rune a little bit, because that rune's place to be is to kind of high risk, high reward. You get in there, kill them, get out with like barely any health, but this one just executes basically. Navori Quickblade, 60 attack damage, 20% crit chance, 30 haste, which is a crap ton of haste too. Your crit strikes with attacks. Your critical strikes with attacks reduce your non-ultimate cooldown by 20% of their remaining cooldown. I've been thinking about this one, and I don't know how I feel about it. When I first saw it, I was like, oh, that's kind of insane. But late game, if you're getting 5 auto attacks off on somebody to like fully reduce the cooldown of an ability you just used, I feel like by then the fight has been determined almost already. 5 auto attacks is a lot late game, you know? I mean, against a tank, it'd be really nice when you're trying to kite away. But 5 auto attacks against another AD is death. So this is useful when you're fighting against somebody that you're like really trying to get away from, or kiting or something like that. But in terms of just like its overall massive amount of power, I think it's cool for like an Ezreal who can just constantly like Q, or maybe a Tristana who's jumping in there and trying to just get as many jumps and resets on top of it as possible. But I guess I'll feel it out in game and see how it feels. I mean, you want to be auto attacking more than ability using some of the times anyways, so let's see how the Navori Quickblade. I might at first I thought it was broken, and I thought maybe it wasn't as broken as I thought it was, and now I'm thinking, I don't know. We'll see how it plays out in the future. Force of Nature, 350 health, 55 magic resist, 7% move speed. Nice little tanky anti-magic move item. Taking ability damage grants you 6 move speed and 4 magic resist for 5 seconds. Stacks up to 5 times. And it stacks per unique ability. So you have to take unique abilities to make the stack. It's just an item that lets you get closer to kitey APs. That's what it sounds like. I guess anyone who's doing ability damage, just in general. You know, like your Ezreals who are just poking you and stuff. You get faster moving towards them. Serpent's Fang, 60 attack damage, 18 lethality. So many lethality items. You deal 300% damage to shields. 300%. You're dealing 3 times the amount of damage to shields that you would normally do. And I think the reason for that is later on down in some of these items, we have a lot of shield items that are getting some pretty nice buffs and stuff. And I think they're kind of afraid that those shields might be a little too strong, and they want you to build or have the option to build versatilely around shields being like a core mechanic, which they could possibly be. Horizon Focus, just straight up 100 ability power, and that's it. Damaging a champion ability at over 850 range or immobilizing them reveals reveals the targets and increases your damage dealt to them by 15% for 6 seconds. That's a long time that they get an additional 15%. I was thinking how many champions do the 850 range, and there's quite a few of them. And they also immobilize. Like I imagine a Lux lands a Q on an Akali who's inside of her bubble. She gets shown, and Lux just absolutely obliterates her. I think it's nice for, and Zoe too. Zoe lands her E on it, Q's all the way back, drops it on top of their face, does an extra 15% on top of the double damage that they do there. It's a nice item. It's just straight at burst, and I think it's good against, like, Akali specifically, if she tries to hide, you know? In her little stupid smoke circle. They did get rid of Hextech too, which is another interesting, like, I wouldn't say nerf, but change to Akali's kit. Cosmic Drive, 60 ability power, 200 health, 30 ability haste. Dealing damage with abilities grants 10 plus 20% ability haste move speed. So you gain move speed scaling with your ability haste plus 10 for 4 seconds if you deal damage with an ability. Just another getting close to someone's item. This kind of works cool with that mythic item up ahead, that kiting one. That if you hit someone with an ability, you get a movement speed burst after it. This works really well in tandem with that, so you can just like either get really far away from a champion or get really close to somebody who's like trying to run away from you. Demonic Embrace, I remember this boy. 80 ability power, 400 health. Dealing ability damage to your champion causes them to take 2% of their maximum health as magic damage every second for 4 seconds. You gain 20 armor and magic resist while enemies are affected. Plus 5 for each additional champion affected. Good anti-tank item. You sit in here with this item. Yet again, Swain builds this on top of the other crazy items that are up ahead. He's sitting there melting people for their max amount of health. So you can hurt tanks while also trying to like walk through and get to the AEDs at the same time. Also getting tankiness while doing it. Surrealda's Grudge. 50 attack damage, 30% armor pen, 20 ability haste. Your damaging ability is slow by 30% for 1 second. I don't see any cooldown on that. So you can just kite somebody for some ability that doesn't have a slow one, and now it does. Specifically, right off the top of my head, you see somebody like Caitlyn land her Q. You get slowed by her Q now for 30% for 1 second. Automatically, just the second you get hit by it, you're slowed, and she can get closer to you and kind of cut you down. Or if you're chasing her, she can shoot a Garen who gets slowed by 30%. On top of her E, so they get a little bit more of a slow. She gets away, she Qs, she keeps kiting backwards. There's some good kite items that have been added to this little patch. I think they're thinking about the fact that it's kind of hard sometimes to get away from some of those shaky champions, but they do have a lot of chase items too for tanks. So it's gonna be very interesting to see how this balance like comes back and forth. The Silver Weave leg plates is like a tank version of the QSS. 35 attack damage, 200 health, 35 magic. Just when I say tank, it just stats. It has like more stats on top of it rather than just MR. Removes all debuffs and gives 40% tenacity and slay resist. So it's a nice little anti CC item for whoever, basically bruisers or ADs can build this. All right, Chempunk Chainsword, 45 attack damage, 200 health, 15 ability haste. Dealing physical damage applies a 40% grievous wounds to champions. If the target is below 50% health, this effect is increased to 60% grievous wounds. They said before they really wanted to affect healing because healing was a big problem with some of the recent champions and stuff like that. Like you have Yumi's jumping on top of Vlads and stuff like that. And I think they wanted to really take grievous wounds to the next level, and I think that we're going to see a lot of like grievous wounds changes coming here. Chemtech, Fumigator, 45 ability, 15 haste, 100% base mana regeneration, magic damage, applies 40% grievous wounds for 2 seconds. Immobilizing the champions applies 60% grievous wounds instead. It's a Chemtech Fumigator. It does the same thing, except you have to immobilize and you get the 60% grievous wounds. I don't know why I keep thinking of Swain just because it said Chem. Swain flips somebody onto his pool. They get stuck there. They have 60% grievous wounds while they're taking damage, so they have less likely to just like sit there and heal inside of his poison damage. Staff of Flowing Water, 60 ability, 15% heal and shield power, 150% base mana regeneration. Riptide, healing or shielding an ally grants you both 15% move speed and 20 to 40 ability power for 3 seconds. This is like a mini version of the item we saw above. That like when you used it, it granted movement speed plus an ability. It was the Shurelias, the Shurelias. This is like a Shurelias that grants you and your ally movement speed when using it if you shield or heal them, and they get an additional ability power going in or out of a fight, you know. Ancient Runestone, which is cool. This one I'm very excited about. I've been wanting this to come back for a while, and I'm glad they brought it back. You have to be level 13, which is very interesting because it's kind of later into the game. I'd rather this be like a level 10. I don't know, a little earlier on. But this item can store up to 3 purchased control wards. So it can store 1 extra control ward than you're normally able to have. If you've placed 20 stealth wards, it transforms into a better version of it, which gives you 25 ability haste, which is awesome. And it can store up to 3 purchased control wards, which it already could do. Oh, I thought it gave an extra one. Oh, increase your stealth ward and control ward caps by 1. Oh, so you do get an extra one there. Never mind. It's a sightstone. It's a sightstone. They brought the sightstone back, and they called it the ward stone. And I think we needed this for a while. I think it's pretty crappy that we don't have the ability to drop as many control wards as we are able to. And now this kind of changes it. This is a great vision item. I think we need some more vision items in the game. And then it goes up even one more. I didn't notice this actually before. Wardstone upgrade. It gives you 40 ability haste plus 10% move speed. This item can store up to 3 purchase control wards. Increase your stealth ward and control ward caps by 1. Just an additional on top of that. I didn't see this before, but you can upgrade this into this and get an even better version of it, which is really cool. Now we're going into updated legendary items. These are just the legendary items that exist that we're just changing up a little bit. 80 attack damage, 20% crit chance. And infinite precision, gain an additional 8% critical damage strike per 20% crit chance. I saw this and I was like, wait, does that mean it's weaker? And I was like, no. Crit chance originally is what, is it 25? Is that what it was? Where is it? Yeah, 25, that's what I thought. So originally you do 25% additional crit damage on this. If you have 100% crit chance with this, it stacks up to 16, 32, 40. So you get 40, an extra, 15% crit damage that you would normally not have if you have 20%, 100% crit on these items. And there's so many new crit items that this, I think this will feel nice. It really rewards building crit. And there's some items that we're literally about to see that reward getting like as much of crit as you can. Gunshow's Rage Blade is a very interesting item now too. 50% attack speed. It grants 20% critical chance, but attacks deal 40 magic damage on hit per 20% critical chance, but can no longer critically strike. So they added Gunswos with critical chance, and then a passive that says this extra 20% critical chance gives you an extra 40 damage on hit. But you can't crit anymore. It's very interesting. They're like, here you go, JK. This just helps you get this thing. So you build crit items on top of this, but you lose your crit chance in exchange for what would be, 200 for the max amount here for this, for 100% crit. So you get an extra 200 per auto, which is just like a base damage on top of that, which could feel really nice. Don't get me wrong. You sacrifice your ability to critical chance on top of it. And of course, it still has the Gunslow's Chaos. Every third auto attack applies on hit effects twice. Which with that mythic item all the way at top, the Giant Slayer one, that's insane. You can double proc your. I can't even imagine what a Vayne with the Gunswows on top of her W passive on top of that new anti-tank item, just like super 3-hitting somebody, you know, or 2-hitting basically. Lord Dominic's Regards, 30 attack damage, 20% crit chance, more crit, 30% armor penetration. Deal up to 20% bonus damage against champions with greater maximum health than you. Just a straight up anti-fucking tank with more health than you kind of thing. Essence Reaver is very interesting, and it's something that I'm thinking about too. 40 attack damage, 20% critical chance, 20% ability haste. It has Spellblade now, though. After using the ability, your next attack deals an additional 100% base attack damage, plus 40% attack damage increase, and restores 3% of your mana. So this is another option for Ezreal. I think you might still just go Trinity Force into like an attack speed Ezreal, which has been a thing in the past. But this is still an option that's on the table for the Essence Reaver if you want to just like get your crits and a little bit of damage and get some more CD out of it. The Essence Reaver is a nice like secondary choice since we've gotten rid of the Iceborne Gauntlets. Phantom Dancer, 40% attack speed, 20% crit chance, 7% move speed, attacks grant ghosting, and 7% move speed for 2 seconds. Attacking 5 times causes Spectral Waltz to also grant 40% attack speed. You get 5 autos off. You get a nice little out or in, which is a nice feel. It'll feel nice, I think. Gargoyle, which I'm glad they did some stuff to. 60 armor, 60 magic, 15 ability. Gain a 100 plus 100% bonus health shield that decays over 2.5 seconds. Increase your bonus in armor and magic resist by 3% for 6 seconds when champions deal damage to you. So you just stand there, you get an extra bonus 9, 12, 15% MR for all the champions that are womping on you if you can get the full stack up there, which is nice. On top of your shield, so you drop in there, pop your shield, everyone's womping on you, you get a bunch of good stats that are free off of this. A little more survivability, just kind of standing inside of there and stuff. Spirit Visage, 450 health, 40 magic resist, 10 ability haste, increases all healing received by 20%, and all shielding on top of this shielding that's a thing, by 15%. I told you they're really trying to go down with this shielding thing on this. I think that's why they added that shield breaker. Abyssal Mask, 350 health, 60 magic resist. Immobilizing enemy champions reduces their armor and magic resist by 25% for 4 seconds. Usually it was just, champions near you got more magic damage dealt to them. But this also reduces their armor as well, which means you can build it as an anti-AP item, but also get more benefits from anti-armor, which means it's a lot better of an item now. It's not just affecting people's ability power; it's also affecting people's ability to do more physical damage as well. Which I think actually makes this item just like way more selectable. Frozen Hearts, 80 armor, 400 mana, 20 ability haste. When it's embraced, reduces the attack speed of an enemy by 15%. Rock Solid, which is just Malphite's catchphrase. You guys are really trying to convince us to use that guy more, huh? Reduce incoming damage from attacks by up to 7 per 1,000 total health, capped at 40% of the attack's damage. So if it goes above, it still goes down below to 40%. It can't be more resistant than 40% of their damage, is what I'm trying to say. And if you're building a Frozen Heart, I don't know if you're going to get more than like 3,000. You can maybe get to 4,000 health. But I think you're going to get around like 21 negated damage, 21, 24 negated damage with this on there, which is still nice. Feels nice. The Randuin's Owen still has the slow on it and reduces the crit chance on the active. It reduces incoming damage just like the other one did. Very similar. Titanic Hydra, 30 attack damage plus 550 health. Gain 1.5 total health as a bonus attack damage. And the Cleave, 5 plus 1.5 bonus health, 15 damage to target, and 40 plus 3% bonus damage to other enemies in the code. Hit Cleave is also applied to structures. Ravenous Hydra, Physical Vamp specifically. I didn't notice that before. 75 or 65 attack damage, 20 ability haste. Ravenous Hydra has ability haste now, which is very interesting. It's nice for Riven and stuff who need the auto cancel on it. Physical Vamp also applies to structure. True damage you deal. Physical Vamp also applies to true damage you deal. I remember this now. So say you have a set who's dealing some damage. He's kind of low. He W's. Does all of that damage on his W. He heals for that for 15% of the physical Vamp, which is pretty awesome. Attack still up to 60%. Enemies, the same kind of thing. Black Cleaver, 40 attack damage, 3s in health, 25 ability haste, shred. Dealing damage to enemy champion reduces their armor by 4% for 6 seconds, stacking up to 24%. When you reach the max of this, your attacks and abilities of enemies you fully shredded, so fully shredded at 24%, deal a bonus physical damage equal to 5% of their missing health. 2% damage for overtime effects. Okay, so just dots do a little less. But if you happen to get this shred all the way max 24%, in there, you can do an additional 5% on, is it all your attacks and abilities? Your attacks and abilities against enemies you've shredded deal bonus physical damage. Yeah. So you just get an additional 5% per auto on that. The Black Cleaver like max proc, which is kind of insane. I think that's going to be a lot of damage if you can actually like get to that point. That is. Steric's Gauge, 40 attack damage plus 400 health. After dealing or taking damage against enemy champions, restore 3% total health over 6 seconds. The stack refreshes per unique champion up to 5 times. So you're just running around autoing stuff and getting 3% of your total health back. Upon taking damage that will reduce your health below 30%, gain 200 shield plus 7.5% total health shield per stack of raise for 8 seconds. So if you stack up to 5 times, you gain 1,000. You can get an 1,000 shield plus 7.5% of your total health, whatever that is. So 1,000 will be lowballing it if you manage to hit 5 people and keep this 6-second stack and that during that entire time. You could hypothetically get a 1,500 shield and just have people waste all of their damage on you, which is pretty insane. Death's Dance is crazy as well. They've done a lot to these like mid-range bruiser tank items. 50 attack damage, 40 armor, 15 ability haste. Ignore pain. 35% of physical damage taken is dealt over 3 seconds, just like normal Death's Dance. But champion takedowns grant you 30% move speed and cleanse ignore pain's remaining damage. So if you get a takedown after this starts proccing, it completely goes away. All that damage that you were going to be dealt is gone, completely gone. And you heal for 20% total health of your total health over the duration. Which is crazy. I'm assuming this is 20% of your total health and not 20% of the total damage from pain. They don't specifically say what this 20% is. I'm assuming it's your 20% total health, which is absolutely bonkers. That's a lot of health for somebody like that. I imagine Set's just running in there, just doing infinite amounts of damage, getting a kill, resetting it, healing for 20%, Wing, and just never dying. It's a good thing we have anti-heal items, huh? I guess that's why we have such crazy anti-heal items now for stuff like this. They really want you to build those Grievous Wounds items. What's end? 40 attack damage, 40% attack speed, 40 magic resist. Your basic attacks deal 15 to 80 bonus magic on hit and grant you 20 move speed. Nothing really going on with this end. It just now you can have more kiting potential with the move speed. Chasing, kiting, yada yadas and who's it's. That's it. This is interesting though. The Bork, 40 attack damage, 30% attack speed, 50% life speed. Attack still physical damage equal to 10% of the target's health on hits for melees, 8% for ranged. But instead of having the active where you would steal somebody's movement speed, attacking a champion 3 times steals 25% move speed for 2 seconds. It has a 20-second CD. I don't know if this 20-second CD is on unique champions or just in general. I'd like it if it was just to that specific champion, so that if you auto an 80 3 times, you steal their attack speed, and then a Garen comes after you, you don't get the passive anymore. On this, I think it'd be really nice if you could still get that off on them. That might be a little abusable, though. I don't know. But it is interesting now that you can't like directly go in and save it and then use it on somebody else. It applies directly into the first person that you get 3 autos on. Zeeks, old school Zeeks, 300 health, 30 armor, 250 mana, ability haste, designate an accomplice. When you mobilize an enemy for the next 4 seconds, your accomplice attacks and spells deal 25 to 50 plus 1.5 total bonus magic damage to that enemy once per attack or spell per enemy. Zeeks, it doesn't have the little freezing thing. It just does additional damage based on 1.5 total health in this, which is interesting. Knight's Vow, 400 health, 200% base health regen, 10 ability haste, designate ally who is worthy. While your worthy ally is nearby, redirect 50% of the damage taken that they take to you. They have less than 50% health, gain 35 movement speed while moving towards them, which is pretty cool. Which is nice. Like, if a Rocket was to build something like this, I don't know if she would. She might actually. You get an additional 35% movement on top of her passive moving towards an ally, which means you can kind of zoom around to heal people if you need be, specifically your worthy one. Also, keep in mind that they have this, that it stops working at 30%, so you don't just die. Mikhail's Blessing, 30% heal and shield power, 200 health, 15 ability haste, 150 base mana regen, and removes all CCs and heals them for 100 to 200 health. Mortal Reminder, plus 20 attack, plus 25% attack speed, 20% critical chance, 7% move speed, dealing damage, applies 40% Griefer's Wounds to champions, dealing 3 consecutive attacks to an enemy champion, enhances effect to 60% against them until the effect ends. Just an attack speed version of the Mortal Reminder with crit. They actually did a lot to the Mortal Reminder looking at it. They gave it attack speed, and they give it crit, and they give it move speed. It's not the old Mortal Reminder that we remember. Thornmail, 350 health, 60 armor. When struck by an attack, deal 10 plus bonus armor magics to the attacker and apply 40% Grievous Wounds. If they are immobilized, this Grievous Wounds is now 60% for 2 seconds. Royal Anomicon, 70 ability power, change of health, dealing damage, applies 40% Grievous Wounds. If the target is below 50% health, this effect is increased to 60%. It's the exact AP version of the other AD item that does below 50% health, basically. So the Mirror Mana and the Seraph's Embrace are similar in their own ways. The Mirror Mana does 35 attack damage, 750 mana. Ability haste is on this. You have the Awe, which you gain attack damage for your mana, and single target abilities attack on champions deal 5% bonus maximum mana, bonus physical damage. It's very similar. Seraph's Embrace is a little different. You have the 80 ability power, 750 mana. You have your additional bonus mana for ability power, and you have this that increases your mana for ability power as well. You don't have the shield anymore, though. Seems they kind of threw out the shield for the Seraph's Embrace for this. There's some involved legendary items that we're going to go over. This is just the ones that are gone. The items below were evolved in some other mythics above. So Sunfire Cape is this. Righteous Glory is Berserker Suit. Iceborne Gauntlets for Fire Gauntlets. That didn't change anything. Leondra's Torment, Luden's Echo, Hextech Protobelt, Trinity Force, Shrella's Riviere, Unlocking the Iron Solari. It was all up there. And these are the removed legendary items. They got rid of Adaptive Helm, which actually makes me kind of sad. Because I thought the Adaptive Helm was cool when it came to taking similar damage sources like Teemos and stuff like that. I think it was actually really nice. Like, you walk into a shroom and it reduces the damage of something that's like a dot. And they got rid of Frozen Mount, which makes me sad. What else? Static Shiv is gone. Twin Shadows is gone. They completely reworked. We're going to look at this in a second because we're pretty much at the end of this list now. They reworked the jungle items pretty crazily. And then maintained most of the other items that you have not seen have not been changed. So what are they going to show us? Ardent Sentries, Banshees, Bloodthirster, Deadman's, Edge of Night, Guardians Angel, Lichbane, Maijas, Mercurial Scepter, Nashers, Rabadons, Rapid Fire, Redemption, Runins. So we still have Rapid Fire, but we don't have Static Shift. That's very interesting. Ryla's, Sanguine. Sanguine stayed, though. Out of all the items, I thought they were going to get some crazy change. I thought Sanguine would be one, and they didn't even touch it. Storm Razors, Umbral. I'm glad Umbral's still around. Void, Warmongs, Yomus, and Zanyas have all been left completely the same. Nothing has changed about them. And for the jungle items on this, what they've done is it's a one-time purchase. You buy a jungle item. Once you've smited enough things, it turns into Chilling Smite. And you get to keep all the benefits on top of this. So you, for this one, for instance, you damage monsters, burn them for 2% health. It's the same thing for both of them. Spending 5 times, this item grants to your smites to challenging smite and grants the effect of this item permanently. Okay, so a second I thought they got rid of challenging smite. No, they just have challenging smite and then they have chilling smite. And I think these are all exactly the same. It's either you choose challenging or chilling smite, and these are basically a one-time buy. You get all these benefits in the jungle, and then you build regular items. Like big jungle items are dead right now and gone. So that's it. That's it, guys. I'll do an in-depth. I kind of want to rank these items and really talk about some of the craziness of them. I kind of did that already, but I think there's a lot more to pull out of this. There's some insane stuff that they put into this patch, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out. I know it's been a long time, but I appreciate it, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video, okay? Goodbye.
You take the moon, and you take the moon, and you take